The papers were spread across the dining table. Their corners curled under the weight of my trembling hands. The house was quiet, too quiet for what I was reading. My husband's signature was there, neat and deliberate, right next to mine. But beneath the polished seals and legal words, something darker was hiding in plain sight. I used to think those papers meant safety, love, trust. But as I traced each line, the truth unfolded. And I realized the man I'd shared my life with wasn't who I thought he was. That night, under the soft hum of the kitchen light, I learned that lies can be printed just as easily as promises. Before continuing, please subscribe to our channel and like our video. My name is Linda Parker. For most of my life, I believed I'd built a simple, peaceful life. My husband, Mark, was charming, calm, and always sure of himself. We lived in a small house in Ohio, surrounded by oak trees and kind neighbors. Mark ran a small contracting business. I worked part-time at the library. We didn't have much, but we were happy, or at least I thought we were. When my father passed away, I inherited his old farmhouse and a few acres of land. It wasn't fancy, but it was filled with memories. My childhood, my father's laughter, the smell of wildflowers by the fence. Mark said he'd take care of everything. He talked about managing the estate, maybe turning it into an investment. I didn't know much about real estate, so I trusted him. After all, he was my husband. But sometimes, I caught a look in his eyes. A mix of ambition and calculation. I told myself it was just excitement. I was wrong. One evening he brought home a folder. Just some legal papers, he said. Routine stuff for the estate. He guided my hand to sign, page after page. I signed, trusting him completely. And when he smiled and kissed my forehead, I thought, this is love. But love shouldn't cost your peace. Soon, he started acting different, secretive. He spent more time on phone calls, locked his office door, and left late at night. When I asked questions, he said, "Don't worry, Linda. It's under control." Then came the letter. A notice from the county about a transfer of property title. One line froze me. Deed of ownership transferred to Parker Holdings, LLC. I couldn't breathe. He'd transferred my father's land to his company, which meant to himself. I confronted him. He said, "It's just for taxes. You're overreacting." But deep down, I knew. Later, I found the proof. A folder in his drawer labeled Parker Holdings. Inside were contracts. My signature. His signature. It was all there. He had sold everything, without a word. I went to my father's lawyer, Mr. Thomas. He studied the papers and said, "Linda, these aren't management forms. These are sale deeds. But they're not final yet." There was a clause requiring confirmation from both sides. And I had never signed that. It wasn't too late. With Mr. Thomas's help, I filed a revocation of transfer, quietly, legally. I played along at home, pretending nothing was wrong, until everything was back in my name. 2 weeks later, Mark came home smiling. "The sale went through," he said. I placed a folder on the table. "You mean this land?" He opened it and froze. The revocation papers stared back at him, sealed and stamped. He tried to explain, but I didn't need his words anymore. It was over. We separated quietly. No fights, no shouting, just truth. I kept my father's farmhouse. Sometimes I sit on the porch, listening to the wind through the trees, and I remember his words. A lie might hide for a while, but truth never forgets its way home. I've learned that love without honesty is just decoration. Beautiful, but hollow. Mark's lies were written on paper, but so was my redemption. Sometimes strength isn't about shouting. It's about signing your own name on your own terms. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us tell more real stories of courage, truth, and quiet strength.